Kimba is in charge. Hi, Kimba.
Hi there. It's me, Kimba Radio Broadcast, episode 24. What a day. Very, very special guest going to be joining me in just a few minutes, and I think you're going to enjoy. So hang with me. Episode 22, I was celebrating my dad. Heretofore was known as Dadba, and what an integral part of the show he was for a period of time. And I did tell a story on social media that I did not tell as part of that cast, where I was lucky enough to be able to go to the Grammys. This was Wednesday, February 26, 1997. I do not remember that. I did look it up. Madison Square Garden. Ellen DeGeneres was hosting. I only had one ticket. So I went. I met some people at the after party. And I only know this because I wrote his name on the back of the picture, and it ended up being Chris DeBaldo, the guitarist from Saliva. And it turns out that Saliva had competed in a Grammy showcase in 1996 and went to the finals, which odds are that's probably how Chris ended up with a ticket to the Grammys. In episode 19 of the radio broadcast, I talk about how South Florida was going to be part of the Grammy showcase later in 1997, and we ended up being part of the CD that was released for that year. And that's probably how I ended up with a ticket to the Grammys. I don't really remember. And I didn't necessarily, Saliva's debut album did not come out until August of 97, and this was in February. So by the time the album came out and they came around, I didn't remember that was the guy I met in the Grammys, because my memory is such. But a good time was had by all at the ceremony. Next day, I have the day walking around New York City with a friend who lives there, and start packing because I have to leave the next day. I think I even had to be on the air. Didn't get a whole lot of time off back in the day. And I realize my keys are missing to my house, to my car. Oh, retrace our steps of walking, can't find them, nowhere to be found. So now I have to call my dad. He has a spare key to my house, so he has to go to my house to get the spare car key because my car's at the airport. Then he has to drive to the airport, pick me up, take me into the garage to find my car so I can head off to work. And if you've heard the episode with my dad and how he could be, I'm waiting for him just to tear me a new one. Usually it'd be like, why did you have your keys with you when you're walking around? Instead, when I apologized for all the trouble, he just kind of laughed, chuckled, and looked at me and went, stuff happens. Which I kind of looked over at him like, who are you? What have you done with my father? But it would turn out that that was the last time I saw my father before he was in the hospital. And had I not lost my keys, I probably wouldn't have seen him because it was really less than a week later. I don't lose things. I never lose sunglasses or keys. I've never lost my keys before that. I've never lost them since. So make of that what you will. But that story reminded me another story about a lost set of keys. If you did not know, Nonpoint formed in 1997 in South Florida. I was doing the local show at the time. They were known by a different name. We'll talk about that. And not too different, just a little different. And why it got changed just to Nonpoint. So I played them for a couple of years, and then they had label interest. They're signed to MCA. They've already played a Zeta Fest show on the local stage. And then they were about to play Bonsai. But when I interviewed them, it was the day before they were going to be recording the video for What a Day, because the single had already been released. So this is Elias Soriano, the singer, and the former original guitarist Andy Goldman. They stopped by to talk about stuff. And this is from August of 2000. My name is Kimba. So you ever listen to Zeta Goes Local? Once upon a time,
many buffalo ago.
You heard it. Zeta Goes Local play a band called Nonpoint Factor. And then you heard Zeta Goes Local play a band called Nonpoint. And now you're hearing on Zeta, MCA recording artist, Zeta Fest veterans, and soon to play Bonsai Nonpoint.
Hello.
Yeah. Nice journey.
Nice
journey, no?
Thank you. What a way to bring us back.
Elias and Andy from Nonpoint. That is singer and guitarist, respectively. For people who are just hearing Nonpoint saying, where, they're from where? Coral Springs, We've been playing it for many years.
We like to call it Fody Loudy.
Fody Loudy?
Fody Loudy.
I'll go with that. And then I find out Andy from Reading the Bio was in Fuse, another band.
Yes, Fuse.
And then reading up on the band a little more, I find out that Puya, another South Florida band, was actually, Elias, you saw Puya and went, oh yeah.
It's my first live show, first big live show.
And you said, I've got to do that.
I want to do it.
I remember seeing Puya like every weekend at the Plus 5 back years and years ago. Them and Marilyn Manson.
Another South Florida band, and they're signed to MCA
Yes.
as well.
Try to use
And then
the
you've
word.
got Grim from Darwin's Waiting Room featured on the disc.
Yes, he's on the tribute track.
My point of all this, mentioning all of these bands as well, is just to show you the Florida scene.
Oh, we're
what
strolling.
has
We're still
happened
strolling.
is
That's the thing.
it's got the Grooveniks and Creed and Cold and Limp Bizkit right around the same time that you started. They started, and now look at you all.
Look at us now.
Look at you now.
Look at all us.
And the fact that Nonpoint are huge supporters of
Absolutely.
other South Florida bands.
Absolutely.
I see you at
Absolutely.
most every show, every event, every festival, especially when there is a local lineup. You guys are there saying, yeah.
We try
It's
to.
always cool
Endo.
playing shows with bands from the same area. We just did a couple shows with Endo all through like North Florida and Central Florida. So it's cool just being out and
Yep.
being able to look over at those guys and like you're kind of moving along together. It's pretty cool.
Every band is local somewhere.
Exactly.
Pearl
Everybody
Jam
starts out
was
that way.
local,
Yep.
not here, but and that's how it works. That's how it starts out. We are witnessing how it works.
Exactly.
Seeing you and hearing you on Zeta Goes Local, and then slowly playing our events, and then playing around up the state, out of the state, and then all of a sudden you get a label looking at you going, oh yeah, okay, we can use these guys.
Absolutely.
And that's pretty much how it worked for you. You started going around and...
It's good to have our friends see us and see us move up and there's a certain kind of pride that they take in us as well, and we're proud to be out there and pretty much representing.
And the song you're hearing from Nonpoint, we just played like a half hour ago, What a Day.
What a day.
I know there's a story behind it.
It's a crazy story.
Well, tell. Tell.
A friend of mine got a little too tipsy at a party and lost his keys. Had to get a ride from a guy that looked like his stepfather, and one thing led to another, and he fell asleep in the guy's car, and he wouldn't wake up when the guy tried to wake him up, so he put him on a park bench and left him there, and the guy woke up on a park bench. So
thinking that he had a ride with his stepfather and wondering how he got on the bench.
Exactly, and it could have turned out a lot worse, so I just elaborated.
Poetic license. Or is
Yes.
that, what do they call it? Somebody coined the phrase faction.
Faction. Wow, you're using a lot of mayonnaise words today.
I try.
You know what a mayonnaise word is, right?
I do not.
It's a word bigger than the word mayonnaise. Like superfluous.
Wow, yeah.
Wow.
Mellifluous.
Oh.
We're getting all multisyllabic.
I'm out of here.
Slow down.
We're grammatically correct today. I don't know what that means, but I've misplaced
But
my
we are,
modifier
somehow.
somewhere. Nice dangling participle you have, by the way, Andy.
Thanks for noticing, Kim.
Not
I thought I put that away.
No. No, you did not.
My bad.
Woo! Nonpoint is playing Zeta's Bonsai, as I mentioned before, and I'll mention it again. It's Friday, April 27th, and they've played Zeta Fest, so
Couple times.
they're kind of veterans at this point to Zeta
Old
type
hat.
shows. Another band that's playing Bonsai, and I hear that you're soon to go on the road with them, would be...
Head PE.
When does that start?
Very good friends of ours.
April
11th, yes.
Now, how did you come to be friends with Head PE?
We actually did a couple shows with them. We did 2 weeks with them prior at the end of one of our other tours with Mudvayne. We had finished up with Kitty. Finished up with Kitty. And we jumped on the Head PE tour, and they liked us so much they asked us to come out again.
Elias and Andy are here from Nonpoint. Yeah,
You want to hear
sure.
Head PE story?
Go ahead.
Should I tell them what BC did on our video?
That's dirty. Hey,
I don't know. Maybe
think
not.
it'll
Unless the
work.
guy
I
comes
think
in
it'll
with a
be
big cane. Go ahead.
At the end of the tour, the last night of the tour is normally they fool
Yeah,
around with you and
sure,
stuff. They did the normal stuff. They threw marshmallows during our set and stuff like that. They were goofing off. But the funniest is we gave our videotape to one of the techs to videotape the show, and
Smart idea.
yeah, really smart idea.
Here, take our video camera.
Yeah, we videotaped most of the show. We're playing the videotape back, and all of a sudden, boop, it pops up, and all of a sudden there's BC out by our van.
Yeah,
and he goes,
the
"Hey,
last
guys."
scene you see is like us on stage, and then it totally clips away to him in front of the van.
Him in front of the van, go, "Hey guys, we just wanted to say it's been great being on tour with you guys. We had a lot of fun, and we just want to leave you a little gift." And BC takes his hand,
Oh, yeah.
wipes his butt with it, and wipes it all over the handles of all of our.
It might have been more than a wipe,
The
actually. I don't know
van.
how descriptive we can be on air,
All
but
the van handles were
I think that's
were-
descriptive
yeah.
enough.
All right.
Just the thought of it.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
and then watching this video, we're all in the van on the way back watching it, and we're like, who
Wait,
opened
the
the door?
van first.
Who opened the door?
You do realize when Head PE come to the show, usually we chat with him backstage. I will not be shaking that man's hand.
Ask him
when he says
about
hi,
it.
I'm
Gotta
gonna go,
watch it.
You're gonna have to forgive me if I don't shake your hand. I've heard that you've soiled vans.
I'm sure he'll completely admit it. I'm sure he was very proud of that one.
Oh,
that
I'm
was a
sure
good
that
one.
he was. And speaking of videos, and Nonpoint, they're shooting the video for What a Day
Yes.
tomorrow afternoon in Boynton Beach
Yes.
at a place called Orbit.
We
You
did.
wanna-
We fought so hard to get it done down here, and we just wanted to bring it back home and get the people that made this happen on video form.
Well, thank you very much for coming by. The CD is called Statement. It's in stores now from Nonpoint, so you can get it and get your very own copy of What a Day. Thank you again, Elias, Andy, for coming by. Nonpoint. So that's Elias and Andy from Nonpoint. That is August of 2000, so it's a few months before they're actually going to release Statement, and it was the night before, or the day before, they were going to record the video for What a Day in Fort Lauderdale. And I'm also going to chat with him about that head PE story because I want to see if he remembers that prank. I don't know if that's something that you would forget very easily, but find out. Nonpoint did go on to tour with Ozfest in 2001. I'm going to chat about that as well. And Nonpoint just celebrated 20 years of making a statement. And to talk about what has happened between then and now, lead singer of Nonpoint, Elias Soriano.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hey. Hey.
I was like, I hope he remembers me. I don't know.
Yes, of course, of course. How you doing?
Doing all right.
Good to see you.
You know, it's been a minute.
It has.
So what I was doing, the mistake I was making, I'm like sliding into your DMs on Instagram. I'm sending you Messenger, trying to send you. And then it occurred to me, Rockstar, he's probably getting thousands of messages and yours is just one of many. So went through the proper channels and here we are.
Well, I do because when the socials started getting really crazy, though I'm very active on socials, my back end knowledge of how a lot of the settings and everything work aren't the best. And I have this thing with my messages when they come in, it splits it up into two separate categories. One is general and the other one's primary.
Primary, yes.
And I kind of got it figured out a little bit. So every once in a while I'll get one and I'll put it in the wrong side, not thinking properly. And then I won't check the other one because I have so many to check up on the primary that by the time I get to the general, I'm like, oh shit, I had 50. I had 53. Wait, let me tell you something. It's a funny story. My team, Rob Ruscia and Francesca Ludicar, I know you guys see us talk about them all the time on our socials. I showed them my inbox and how many messages that I have in my inbox. And I will show you because the interview one is up here. And just make sure there's no delicate.
There's no personal information.
That says one of 26,000. It gave Francesca anxiety when she saw it.
Yeah, that would give me agita if I couldn't.
Yeah, so I literally sat last night in my bed flipping through and going, wow, I gotta get this cleaned up.
Because I know you were in South Florida just a few weeks ago. I don't know if you still are, but
no longer in Florida. I went down for some family and I had to get back up and get back to professoring my little one.
Yeah, I saw your curl game strong.
Yeah. Right?
I know, that was very good.
I hope you have.
So I could use a little more curl. I don't know if you saw in the email, I played a little snippet of it, the interview between, it was you, Andy, former member, and myself, and it was August of 2000. So it was just months before Statement came out. And the reason we were doing the interview is that the very next night you were going to be recording the video for What a Day at a club called Orbit.
That's right.
And you said you fought very hard with the record company to do the video.
Correct.
So that all your people.
Yes, they wanted to capture the excitement that they saw when they signed us. There was a lot of buzz around when we actually played that show that we got signed from, and they wanted to capture that in video form, and they wanted to do it in some other town, and we're like, hey, girls not gonna, you want that, you got to do it there. That's not that. That's, you got to get over there.
And something I didn't even recall until I was listening back to the interview is that early on when I was playing the band on the local show, you were known as Nonpoint Factor.
Correct.
Our original cassette I got it on cassette.
Yeah.
We're not dating ourselves or anything. And then
no.
I crossed out Factor because you had changed it to Nonpoint. I played you.
For the record, the fans did that.
Oh, the fans changed it to Nonpoint.
The fans basically did that. We were Nonpoint. When I joined the band, the band was already Nonpoint Factor. I I had replaced a singer who was literally non-existent, never went to practices, never wrote anything, never bothered to learn the music really well. And when I came in, it was more of a full steam ahead kind of scenario. When we started gaining new fans in the area, it was nobody wanted to say the word Factor in the name. They were just like, hey, Nonpoint, hey, Nonpoint, 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 Nonpoint. We're like, hey, man, hey, they might as well just call it that. They're calling it that. They don't even use the word Factor anymore. So let's just do that. And then
they didn't appreciate what did you call it in the interview? We were joking around about mayonnaise words.
Yes, the mayonnaise. A mayonnaise word, a word bigger. Wow, that's
bigger
great. You remember that? Wow. Yeah, mayonnaise. A mayonnaise word is a word bigger than the word mayonnaise.
And we were all mellifluous and superfluous and
superfluous. Yeah, that was one of the words that I used to discuss. That's great. That's great.
Okay, Nonpoint Factor, Nonpoint. I'm playing you on the local show. You played Zeta Fest. I interview you. You're about to do the video for What a Day. You're about to also play the Zeta Bonsai show. Things were already on the move, but
yeah,
I'm telling you the view from my seat, the cheap seats of what I was witnessing. So what was it like for you?
At that time, it was probably top level of excitement because, you know, it was still during the time where you had more than just the big three right now of record labels. So budgets were high and, you know, everybody's jet setting across the country and, hey, let's check out this. Hey, I'll get you a steak dinner bigger than your face, you know, that kind of thing. So when it was time to do that video, I remember thinking to myself, because at the time the director that they were getting was a big hip hop director who at the time I was more into hip hop than I was actually rock at the time. So I knew the name immediately. So just having the opportunity to use that director and seeing his name in the list of directors and the reels, I was like, oh my God, I know all these videos. This is going to be cool. So I kind of leaned into that one. I'm like, hey, we should try out this guy, you know? So it was more about the excitement of the glamour side of it and the seeing how big the actual industry machine is and watching those dollars get spent and, you know, sitting at a table with a bunch of people. You know, I tell the story all the time. It was us, Skindred, and our managers and a couple of the members of the label. And we all sat down to have a dinner in New York City at this Brazilian steak place. Stick a piece of meat
on a skewer,
in a sword,
or in a sword.
And,
okay,
cut it right at your table. And
sure,
you got to flip the thing until you got to literally stop them from pushing meat down your throat. We had that, and then the bill came, and I remember this because there was only 15 of us. And I remember seeing a bill, and I had never seen a food bill this big, and it was $3,700.
Yep.
I couldn't believe it.
A few times when I was music director and we'd go out for the record label dinners, you know, and sometimes the money they would spend even on a bottle of wine, I was like, what is going on here? So that's my extent of knowing that. But I know that feeling like, wow, this is a different world.
That's what it felt like. It felt like a different world.
Different life. It's so interesting to say that because after Ozfest 2001, I did see you there because I snapped a picture with you. And I know you were playing that. But after that, I don't know that I saw you a whole lot because you guys were just off and running.
That felt more natural. Ozfest actually felt like what I was supposed to be doing, as opposed to like all of the other stuff that you do to set up to get to do Ozfest. You know, all the pictures and, you know, all the videos and stuff, and all necessary part of the, you know,
the photo
presentation.
shoots.
Yeah. All that stuff, flying back and forth, shaking these people's hands, doing, you know, interviews, everything that, you know, these kind of conversations are what connect me to our fan base.
Right.
And connect and get the answers that I don't even know are inside of me. So, you know, everything is part of a vital part of the whole, you know, working organism.
But the dreaded schmooze can be kind of hard sometimes when you have to deal with like labels and stuff like that.
Yes.
That's meeting
Yeah.
fans and for me meeting listeners. No, those are your people.
Sometimes it gets exhausting during the hot moments of having to do that. But again, it's all necessary.
I just did a cast with Chris Nicholas, who was in Collapsing Lungs and Lungs.
Mhm.
And they just released a new song and video. But we were talking about, because they were a few years before you.
Collapsing Lungs. Wow, you just took me back.
Crack a jack.
Wow.
And
Wow.
we were talking about, because they got signed as Collapsing Lungs, and then when that collapsed and they formed Lungs, they got signed, but each time it imploded. But I recall you saying that you wish if you could go back, you would pay more attention to the business side. But do you think there's any rhyme or reason to why bands make it to the point of signage and then, you're still going, you got signed and you made it, and it's 20 years later?
Yeah. I feel like it's knowing how to understand your strengths, knowing how to work on your weaknesses, but also to giving yourself the chance and the courage to evolve when you watch things changing. That is absolutely the peril of every old working part of the music industry, I feel like, is.
And that would be on levels, correct? Because you're not only talking about, you've got to talk about the business level, the music level, and the relationship between the band member levels, because you've had changes.
Correct. And knowing how to deal with those things at that moment, and knowing that it may be a hurdle, but you have to look at it as an opportunity. That once you're on the other side of that hurdle, you're going to have that straightaway again for a little while before you hit that hurdle again. But it's seeing the hurdle coming and following the advice of professionals around you, also to keeping an eye on the market and the things around you, trends around you, watching all that stuff. It all matters, and more than anything, following your gut. I would say more than anything. When you feel like something's wrong, it's your body's telling you something. And I always say this from the mouths of babes, the children say the most profound things sometimes, and it's because they're looking at it from the simplest level, and sometimes you have to just take a step back and go, okay, is it right or is it wrong? What am I going to do here?
Valid. All of the above. Yeah. Because we were talking about how many bands specifically from South Florida in that 90s, the entire 90s, got label interest. And quite a few got signed and had success, and quite a few got signed and did not, soon after broke up. So it was just a interesting conversation we had about that. So I wanted to get your take on that. Also on that interview that I have from August of 2000, you had done a tour. This is really funny, with Head PE.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, you told me the prank they pulled on you, and I don't know.
Was it the video camera prank?
Yeah.
Yes. I actually just told that story not too long ago. Yes, that was BC, the drummer. Yeah, wiped his. But it was how clever he did it. It was how clever he did it, because we were in the middle of performing, and out of our excitement of like videotaping, and handing the camera over to him and saying, hey, can you videotape this? And he's like, sure, no problem. I got you. Not realizing it was the last night. I mean, it was a really brilliant prank.
But yeah, it was really funny how you guys were like, who touched the handles
first? Yeah.
I'm sure you've got to have more stories like that in 20 years.
We've got a couple. As of late.
Well, yeah, now not so much.
Not so much.
I don't think a mask would have helped in that situation.
Yeah. We've been hustling as much as we can with this time off, so not a lot of time for more stories of jumping through flaming hoops and coming out the other end going, hey, you guys did that great. I bet that was easy. And we go, yeah, it was great. It was very easy. No problem.
Well, sure. Just like you said, this is like another hurdle. You've had to pivot, and I know you've got the 15th anniversary of To the Pain with Bullet with a name. So I'm sure there's something that's going to be coming up with that.
Very exciting. I think we got the anniversary. Yeah, the anniversary is coming, and we've been hinting towards it. It is 20 years of making a statement was fun. It showed us that the vision of what we wanted to do with our first online performance was achievable with our team. It was a lot of planning, a lot of practice, a lot of sweat equity from a team that believes in our band and really goes to bat for us. Francesca Ludicar, Rob Rusha, Jim Peterson, all those guys donate a lot of their time to us, knowing that we can only pay a certain amount, especially with everything that's going on right now. I definitely give credit where credit's
Yeah,
due.
absolutely. 20th anniversary of making a statement. Another thing I recall from 21 years ago, before we get to where you can find that, when I first used to see you at shows, your shows, or sometimes I remember seeing you backstage at other shows, many times your mom would be with you.
Yes.
Who I love.
She's amazing. That's a Nonpoint mom. Yeah.
You may not remember this, but she was so kind to me back in the day. She witnessed, and you were there too, but you were busy trying to, do what you're doing. She witnessed some trials and tribulations I was going through on the job front and was so very supportive.
Yeah, my mom's an angel. I'm definitely gonna have her look at this, and I guarantee she's gonna look at it and go, "Oh my God!"
But I just never forget that she was always like, don't you let him do this too, don't, and it was awesome. And so I went from seeing you backstage with your mom now I'm like, fast forward, you're married, you have a child.
Yeah. Yes.
You got the curl game down.
I got the curl game down. It's strong. You adjust, and not only adjust. That's one thing I don't mind at all. I love being a dad, and
you can tell.
Again, it's got hurdles, so you just prepare yourself for when they come, it
goes by.
Yes.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, Dennis, once told me, he goes, "Don't blink, man, or you're gonna wake up. She'll be 9 years old." And I was like, I blinked. Jesus, I blinked.
I blinked and you were backstage, and now look at you. Nonpoint did an online concert in honor of the 20th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it's a pivot in the sense that instead of doing like just an online concert, you did between the songs. You kind of explained stories. Like in the interview that I played earlier, you talk about how What a Day happened, the story behind What a Day. So it was akin to that.
Yeah, we seeing what a lot of the online shows were doing and watching them, we always try to express our content in the way that we feel like matches our personalities. And if anyone knows our band, again, even through its ups and downs, we've always been a very communicative band. And, there's a lot of laughs and jokes and inside jokes and things that we do with our band that other camps look at and goes, "Damn, you guys are actually really friends." And we're like, yeah, we hang out and this is our stuff. And sometimes we have to push ourselves to do it because, things get, you get irritated and, dealing with 5 big personalities, it happens. So with this event, we wanted it to look like what our socials and stuff look like, which has a little bit of fun and funny stories and comedy and history and all of these things that not only did we not even know about a lot of the stuff. You can even see a lot of the things that we captured were just like right then and there. I had no idea half of the answers that I was going to get. That's what we wanted to do with that. And that's how that event turned out with To the Pain and that anniversary. We're going to do something different. It's going to be something different.
This gave you kind of the impetus to think of something even more.
Yes, we're going to do something historical with that.
Well, I got to say the dance number in this was fantastic.
The dance number. Oh, okay. I was like, oh yeah, yes, the dance number. That's right. If you haven't seen it yet, You're gonna love the dance.
You're gonna love the dance number.
That's right. It was a take on John Lloyd Webber. I won't get into it.
You can find the concert at nonpoint.com. It's the
Go to
best way to do it.
nonpoint.com. It's got the rental there. You can go.
The rental, and it's like $10.
Yeah, it's $10, and then you'll have it for $10. You'll have it for 2 days. You get to watch it, enjoy it. And again, it's I'm almost certain it's over an hour, and it's got all the music of Statement from beginning to end, performed at Uptown. Rob Ruscha captured the sound beautifully. Francesca made us look amazing, even with all the grays and everything. So I'm just happy the way it turned out. We're getting tons of people asking to speak to us about it. So it's all
like me.
Very fun. Yes.
And you've got commemorative merchandise to go with it.
Yeah, we got 2 different styles of What a Day shirt and this Grand Theft Auto Vice City style thing design. We have a new Victim shirt and hoodie. Statement shot glasses. It comes with 3 shot glasses and a bottle opener. So a lot of stuff that we've never done.
Nice. I was going to whip out my Nonpoint ski cap, but I was like, I'm in South Florida and it's still 90 degrees. So just know I have it. I brought, I put the statement.
There you go. Hey, I love it in the back.
It's in the background there, but it's there. It's there.
Yeah, I love it.
I just wanted to say congratulations.
Thank you.
I know it's been a long time, but I'm so glad to be able to talk to you again. Not only is it an honor to be a teeny tiny, like I said, a cog of the beginnings. You really were. You're one of the first bands, though, if not the first band. I can't. It's too small. I'll put a screenshot of it. That I am in the liner thank yous. I see to this day I still get a little giddy over that. I'm like, that's so cool. It's the little things.
It was sad to watch the South Florida scene kind of like swell as big as it did, and dance music and vacationers and all that stuff kind of like stomping the noise out of what we were doing in rock down there. It is my mission to bring that back before I decide to, give the nod out of this business. I want to create some sort of South Florida rock community and just Florida rock community that really just puts a big stamp where, that same community can start feeding the cities that really welcome it and also nurture it. There's cities all over Florida that do have that promise, and I'm hoping that eventually I can bring that there.
That would be fantastic, because we did have quite the run. It was a decade of not only local music, all the clubs that would have the local bands, all the labels that were interested, all the shows we were able to do. It'd be great to have all of that come back again.
No, there's a bit of a reset button that just got hit. So I feel like, there's only, you only can go up from here,
It's at 2020, you can.
You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of, I was doing a walk today and I saw a sign that said Jesus 2020. And I said, I don't think I'm reading it how they intended it. I have kind of like a comma. Jesus.
Oh, I love it. That was good.
I'm not sure they meant that the same way. But
it's viral. Yeah. I guarantee it. It's viral.
Yes. I love you guys. I don't know if Rob will remember me, but tell him I said hi. I'm so happy and thrilled for your success and continued. That's
so good to talk to you again, Kimba. I love you.
Elias from Nonpoint. Thank you so much.
Let's do it again.
Oh, I'd love to.
Till next time.
Elias Soriano. I knew we were going to have a good time. I just knew it. And I'm so glad I got the opportunity to speak with you. That was really fun. You can find the Nonpoint 20th anniversary of Making a Statement concert special at nonpoint.com. Thanks again, Elias. Thanks, Maria, for helping to make it happen. Thank you for being one of Kimba's herd. And thank you for listening to Me Kimba Radio Broadcast, episode 24. What a day.
This Kimba's on the radio.